Recording live from my headhunting stronghold in Annapolis, Maryland, and beyond. This is the Recruiter Roundtable Season 3. Every episode is an open discussion for recruiters, headhunters, and talent pros. So feel free to participate or just sit back and listen as we bring you topics, discussing tips, tricks, and more from both industry dinosaurs and noobs alike. Please like and subscribe. And let's start with the Recruiter Roundtable Season 3. Share your tech stack. Hey, everybody. And I made an announcement earlier before we started streaming. And for those who start watching, we are going to make a short, it's about 45 minutes today. I got to get out of here. So I'm going to stop the streaming in about 45 minutes. If you want to come on, if you're watching and participate after the stream is done, we sit around for another hour and talk about stuff that we don't want streamed. So feel free to come join us. Otherwise, it's going to be a short episode. And we're talking about our tech stack today. And I had mentioned MetaView, a great little AI note taker that integrates with a lot of the ATSs and just recently integrated with Loxo. And it's got a great price point. The free version gives you 25 conversations a month. But Anthony bought one he had just mentioned off of AppSumo, and it's another AI note taker that you didn't like at first, but now you do. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about it and what it is?
It's Hedy, Hedy AI, and what it does is it still has the app for your phone, but now they have a beta for Mac. So basically, the software is on the Mac, and what it does is it's a note taker like all the other ones. But what you can also do is, like, I was in a meeting yesterday. When I was done, I asked Hedy, what are your thoughts on this meeting? And it gave me its opinion. Do you think this is something I should go forward with? And it actually gave me its thoughts. You could actually converse with the AI about what it talked about. And they also
interesting. It's on AppSumo. It's a lifetime deal.
Yes. And what you can do also with it is, so you set up a chat. I'm on a different computer, but when you set up a chat, you can set up different kinds of meetings you can set up. There's a recruiter one. There's a personal one. I think there's a medical one you can do. There's a bunch of them you can do. And also what you can do with this is you can have it where it goes in the cloud, so then it's on all your devices, or you can shut that off. And those notes are only on your computer. They're nowhere else.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm dropping it. It's called Hedy AI. I'm dropping it in the chat. And I'm also dropping the AppSumo link as well. So AppSumo, it's only $60, and you get a 60-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked type of thing.
And
so
it's right there. Meeting sessions as far as length. I did one that was 80 minutes. I did one that was 10 minutes. I did one that was 60, and it's just great.
Unlimited meeting length, unlimited number of sessions, and is it an app on your?
It's an app on your phone, and the way it works is if you do the cloud one, you also then can have it on your browser at the same time. But you have to have on the phone. It can't work on a headset. It has to be like on a speakerphone. So if you do speakerphone, and then you can actually ask questions of the AI as you're listening to the conversation. Somebody says something, it's some industry you don't work in, and somebody says the habigats you got to do, and you go habigats, and then it'll explain what that is to you. In real time, it'll help you.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it transcribes everything perfect, and then you can ask your questions about what you just had, the conversation you just had. And it's $59 for
That's kind of cool. I'll have to check that out. $59. Yeah, it's worth it. Hey, Ernie, what is it? $59 myself to death, right? Yeah. $59 myself to the poorhouse.
It's like, remember when they started all these like, Netflix and stuff, it was like, no more having to be locked into, paying $180 a month for cable. When you look at $20 here, $15 there, $10
Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon.
Hey, make one placement, you pay for it all.
That's all.
Yeah, well, I'm the pirate life for me, my friends. The pirate life for me. So we're talking about tech stacks. If you guys talk a little bit about AI note takers, or do you want to kind of roll into, there's a couple of ways we could do this. I thought everyone could share their tech stack, like the 4 or 5 most important things that you will go around a circle real quick, or we can talk about specific tech stacks like AI note takers, applicant tracking systems, CRMs, AI, LinkedIn automation. Do you guys have a preference on how you guys want to do this?
Let's stay on the AI note takers for a minute, because I'm really interested in what their capability is other than taking notes. Right. So our AI note taker records and does summaries and also does voice snippets, right? So you can present the highlights when they talk.
Which one are you talking about?
Hone It.
Okay.
And it does integrate with Loxo somewhat. Yeah.
Now, can
Okay.
you on Hone It? Can you do that's Hone It AI?
I believe so. Yeah.
HONET?
No, let me just see. HONEIT.
HONEIT. Okay, got it. And I know we have Quill is one, right? That's
Well,
Tim Lucy likes Quill, right?
Yep.
We also have I'm gonna screen share here so we can look at them all. We have Otter. I know some people use Otter AI. What are the other ones? Anybody else want to drop a AI? We can go over them real quick.
there's
I
one I'll have.
don't want to talk about that.
There's one I'll have to send to you, but a guy I know, he's one of the founders, and not only does it summarize your calls, it also will prompt.
Which one?
I'll have to find it and send it to you guys. But it also
MetaView?
will prompt if you haven't asked questions, and it works on more of an enterprise level and will find kind of the best practices for your team as well, right? So it's more of a corporate enterprise AI to help you get better as a team rather than, oh, I'm taking your notes, I'm summarizing it for you. I think you can even summarize it in the way that you want them to summarize, right? So instead of just generalized and summarizing the call, if you say, I really want to highlight safety, productivity, and ROI from calls, it'll customize that.
Also, you can onboard salespeople so much quicker with those, where basically it's helping you while you're in the phone call. That it's so you have to learn how much it's doing things for you. It speeds up the whole process.
Okay, so here is MetaView. This recently integrated with Loxo, right? So, for example, I had well, no, this is not a good one. This one here was a panel interview. My clients, I set up for them, and it did the whole AI note taking of the interview. It gave me the highlights of everything, and you could ask anything about this conversation. So a lot of these note takers do that. So we could ask anything about this conversation between Sean and the three interviewers. Okay, we can make it too long, don't read. And there's different topics. You can create snippets of the interview if you wanted and show a little video snippet to your client. If you were interviewing the guy. Over here, there's information about the interview, how long it was, who was involved in the interview, how long it was on. There's the entire transcript, and the video is available as well. And one of the other things that I like about
Tom, can you share it? And what's the price point?
is that aren't I sharing my screen?
No, we can't see
we
your
can't
screen.
see
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here talking away like a fucking idiot. I apologize.
That's true, but have we started the
As
program?
usual.
Have
Let me
we
start
started
over
the
again.
program?
So
I admire your
we're
passion.
streaming. Yeah, we're streaming. And I was saying I got to get out of here early, so I'm trying to make this quick so we can go through it and you guys can talk afterwards. But this is MetaView. This was an interview. Let me go back for a second so you guys can see. So these are all my conversations. And I was saying before, MetaView, the free version, you get 25 conversations a month for free, but they only last for 14 days. But now that it integrates with Loxo, right? See how right here it says Loxo? So I actually sent this to Loxo. Right here, it had a thing that said send to Loxo. Oh, there it is. See that? So I sent this entire thing to Loxo. Now it's saved there forever, so I don't care about the 14 days. The other thing that's really cool about Meta, not only does it work with Zoom, Google Meet, and Teams, but it also works via the phone. You can dial out through MetaView, and it'll record the conversation over the phone. Go ahead, Ernie.
When you say you send it to Loxo, does it go to your profile or does it go to the profile of which
It goes to the candidate's profile. So I'll show you that right now. If we go to Loxo, this candidate was Sean Gaddis, Gaddis, sorry. And there it is right here. So the entire interview notes are right here. Steve Jenkins.
Quick question now. Is that searchable in the activity or in intake?
No, because so this is something that we've talked about. If you want this to be searchable, you have to put it in intake. right?
Okay.
So what I would suggest you do is put the interview notes here and then drop the transcription, the entire transcription into intake. And then that way the entire transcription is searchable. And how you would do that, let's say for MetaView, for example, you just come over to the transcription, click copy transcription, come back to Sean, drop it in here, paste, and now that entire transcription is in here, and now it's searchable. That's MetaView, and you can dial out on MetaView, and I'm trying to get clarification right now because the way that you dial out in MetaView is you dial 415 some number, then it'll say, please enter the candidate's number. You enter the candidate's number, you hit pound, and then it calls the candidate, but it looks like it's coming from your phone number, whatever number you're calling from. But we have click to call on Loxo, so I'm trying to get clarification. Does MetaView notice that this number is associated with this candidate? So when I put it into MetaView, it'll automatically associate it with him. I'm trying to get clarification on that right now, because the way that it does it now is when I schedule something in MetaView over here, like the roundtable meeting, I didn't add it, but I could add it to this, right? I could click add to the meeting. So any meetings that I have, like, let me go back to like yesterday, like not let me see, but like on Monday, I don't have any minutes, like this one, like Ian Murphy, I could add that to the MetaView thing, and it'll show up on that interview, and then record the interview and do what it just did with this. Now I dropped this one in here today just to see how it would work, and you have to kind of give it. So now it's saving the speakers, and it has me, it's not great, right? But it's free for 25 things. And now it's generating the AI notes from a conversation that I dropped in there. And I was waiting to see if this would add. So it may or while that's doing that, we'll go to Hone It. This is the one that Kale was talking about. I don't know a lot about it. Kale, if you want to comment on it, you can.
Yeah, I mean, their highlight is the voice highlights. That's where they really feel like they stand out, and they give you a phone number and texting and stuff. So it does export to Loxo. I'm reasonably happy with it. It was good for us getting interviews. It didn't up our placement rate as much as I thought it would, but it's good presenting the voice because. Yeah, I mean, obviously the summaries are much better now than they used to be, but I like presenting the voice to the people too.
That's interesting. I never even thought about doing the voices. And go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Regardless of whether you're using MetaView or Hone It or whatever, what are you actually sharing? I'm curious to know what you're actually sharing with your client. Are you sharing a snippet, a video? What are you sharing?
Does anybody will comment before I do?
Yeah, with Hone It, Tom, you're sharing their voice and a summary. So you get the combination and their resume profile. It can all be kind of uploaded onto a page. So and what they like about it is they kind of feel it meets with anti-discrimination. In that you don't actually have their face, and you could use it for MPC in that way as well. You could be like, oh, here's a great candidate who's managed a $50 million company, and here's how he succeeded at this. Let me know if you wanted to talk to him, right? So you differentiate a little bit. You've talked to this candidate, right? And it's actually been helpful when a client's like, hey, this guy, he already applied. We're like, well, we talked to him and he said he didn't apply. Here's where he said it, right? So you can actually show the work you're doing versus,
Sure.
Oh, everybody sends me a resume, but actually you're showing the work you're doing. So
Good.
This
Thanks.
is what I do. I record the conversation. I don't actually I just started using MetaView again. I have my own prompts that I use. I record the conversation, take the transcript, and then upload it to, take the audio, upload it to, and I'll show you guys. It's called, I bought it off AppSumo. It's a transcription service. I transcribe it, and I drop it into
Transcribe Pro.
Transcribe Pro, thank you. Then I drop it into a large language model, and I have a prompt for creating a summary for interviews. So it shows everything about the background, his groundwork, company interview, the role expectations, responsibilities. Oh no, this isn't the one. Sorry, wrong one. I apologize. That's the wrong one. That's the one from that I just showed you from MetaView. This is mine.
The 25 MetaView things that you can do, how long can they be?
14. Oh, unlimited, but they're only there for 14 days.
Okay, but yeah, but as far as the actual, if you're talking to somebody for an hour, it's covered.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, where am I? I guess they're here. There we go. This is Cody McAllister. So this is what I do. So this is how I send it to my clients. It's an interview summary, the interview notes, qualifications, key discussion points, compensation of the candidate, reason for considering a change. So I'll interview a candidate, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, record the entire conversation, have Transcribe Pro, turn the conversation into text, drop the text into a large language model using a prompt that I built to do this. And this is what my clients gets along with the resume. And if at any time there's something, 1 second, Kel, at any time, like there's something there I want, like if I ask the candidate, hey, can you give me a really good, something you're proud of as a sales guy or something you're proud of as an engineer you designed, and it doesn't show up on here, I can go right back into large language model and said, please add what he talked about with designing that bridge in Chicago to the experience or qualifications, and they'll put all that in there. So it's, I like it because it's kind of like how I do things, and I'm comfortable with it. But MetaView does very similar. Go ahead, Cale.
So MetaView, you can add to a Meet or a Teams meeting.
Meet,
So
Teams, Zoom, or phone call.
Okay, can you add it? So you could potentially do it for your client's panel interview that are on Zoom, right?
Yeah, like I actually, by accident,
Interesting.
it joined a client panel interview between 3 of my clients and a candidate. And they called me and said, hey, we saw a note taker was in there. What was that? I go, oh, that was mine. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to join. He goes, no. Can we get the summary? I'm like, sure. So they were all stoked to get the summary.
It's a value add.
Yeah,
add.
Exactly. It's a huge value add. And I didn't even think about it. And maybe down the road, I may say, hey, do you want to do that for the rest of them? And also with MetaView, I think a lot of them right now, I think I could go to MetaView and grab it, a link or something, either the link from Google Meet or whatever, and boom, MetaView will join. MetaView can join this meeting right now. I can't remember how to do it, but where is it? MetaView to capture your yeah, right now. See this? If I drop this, no, that's not it. I gotta remember where it is, but yeah, you can have MetaView join a conversation in the middle of it if you want.
And I just
This
saw
is
that
Quill.
you can do
John
Calendly.
Morrison, go ahead. I'm sorry, who was talking? And then John's next.
That was me. I just saw with MetaView, you can do Calendly integration. Ownit offers an alternative to Calendly that's integrated. So,
go ahead, John.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, so I'm sorry, I came on the call late. This is epic. Would you mind just summarizing the few technologies you're referencing at this point?
Yeah, so we're gonna show MetaView, Honeit, Quill, Otter, Transcribe Pro, Fathom, Rev, and if anybody else thinks of anything else, I'll add them. But I'll also drop this in the chat before we stop streaming. And this is Quill. So this is another one that actually does a really good job integrating with Loxo. And Tim Losi, do you want to kind of, because you use this a lot, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's just a different platform. You get kind of used to it. I had a demo. Those guys are great. They gave me a demo of like 4 weeks until I set up my templates, so it was like awesome. Before I even got started, I had it already created. So the nice thing about Quill, what I like about it, I should say, you could add it to video. I could clip it on here and do a note taker as well, and it would create a summary. It does AI. It uses Gemini as the background, I found out from the back, So you could create any type of templates. So you start off with like a meeting type. Is this going to be an intake call? Is it going to be an interview? Is it going to be a general notes? And then from there, you create your prompts on what you want in that. And that actually will get moved into Loxo or an ATS system. I think they're into Top Echelon or TE Recruit now. They're actually Quill got into Salesforce too, which I thought they're doing a huge, just bunches of integrations right now. So when you create that meeting type, then you have something called a template. And templates, you can create 50 different templates if you want. Like if it's an interview and you want to do a thank you email, you know, to the candidate for, you know, their time, or thank the client or whatever, you can create your own AI prompts to create that email for you. And it's pretty slick. You can
This
actually
does
go
work
in.
with phones too, correct?
Yeah, so they came out with a
Not
new
all of them work with phones. MetaView works with phones. Quill works with phones. Yeah.
Yeah, so Quill right now, what I like about Quill, integrates with your contacts. So now their new app integrates with your contacts. So I can go in there and say, oh, hey, look at, Tom. Yeah, I can look at it, and all of a sudden I can call him from the Quill app, and we're right there. We're having a conversation. So it does integrate with contacts now. And it's just really easy to use to set up. So the app now, it's in beta. I'm using the beta version, and I've been just using my cell phone the last week and a half making phone calls, and it's been kind of interesting from that standpoint. Just the
the integration of Loxo
consistency.
seems really impressive. I was impressed with that.
You know,
the integration of Loxo and Quill is really good.
You can do fields, which is nice. So you can create a custom field. If they say that, hey, my salary is this, you know, it'll actually fill it out. Like, you know what, I'd take 70,000, but I really want 90,000 because if I have to move, it's that. It'll actually put the text and all that right into the salary area. If they're up for relocation, they'll actually say
yes, they are, Andy.
Yes or no. So it's kind of nice. It actually will fill those fields out. Again, though, it's using AI, so sometimes it'll miss. It's got to say it exactly like, yeah, I'm open to relocating in Bettendorf, Iowa, you know, or something like that. But if they say yes, it might catch the yes, or it might not acknowledge that the other person on the other end said they're open for relocation. So it's a little tricky.
So the difference, real quick, sorry to me, Jim, and somebody just asked, is Hedy and Quill the same? Hedy is not integrated to any applicant tracking systems, and as Tony was saying, you can't talk over the phone. You have to be on speaker, so it's a little more antiquated, right? And probably just for recording calls and then using whatever AI they have to answer questions, put together summaries, right? It's very similar to kind of what I do on Transcribe Pro. I record all my calls, take the transcription, and put it in Transcribe. Sorry, put the audio in the Transcribe Pro. It transcribes it, and then I use large language models to answer my questions, right? So Hedy's very similar. The reason I bought Transcribe Pro was $59 on AppSumo. It works great for me. Very similar to Hedy. It cuts out one of the middlemen, I guess. But I don't like talking on speaker, so I probably won't use Hedy as much as I would the other ones. The ones that we're talking about now, Quill, MetaView, these are actually ones that'll attach to your calendar. Will schedule. When you have a schedule, they'll actually join the meeting, a Zoom meeting, without you having to do anything. If you set it up properly, every time you have a Zoom meeting, it will join. Every time you have a Teams meeting, it will join. And that's Quill, that's MetaView, that's Honeit, that's Otter, that's Fathom, right? And we'll go to those next. So there's a kind of a couple different types of transcription services out there. You know, high to low, how much they do. So with phones, some don't. And speaking of not working with phones, Otter's one of them. Otter is strictly for video. It works for all the major video platforms, but last time I checked, it did not work with phones. And you know, they have a free thing. You get 300 monthly transcription minutes, 30 minutes per conversation. So it is limited. Somebody asked about MetaView. Much unlimited on MetaView, but here in the free version of Otter, it's 300 monthly transcriptions, 30 minutes per conversation, right? I mean, how many of us interview conversations go way over 30 minutes? So
hey, I want to say one
probably
more
not
thing.
a good deal. Go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing. Quill, on there, just want to say one thing that I found out, and it's great. You don't even have to have an IP ad VoIP system to utilize Quill. You can use your cell phone, which is really slick. So I'm in Loxo.
Yeah, MetaView is the same way. I just haven't figured out
yeah.
if it integrates to Loxo with your cell phone. We're working through that right now.
Yeah, so they use a Google
Otter.
Chrome app, but yeah.
And you can, with Otter, you know, try it out. It's free, right? You get, you know, tons of transcriptions. It's only 30 minutes long. So use it, you know, the way you want. But again, another one that actually attaches to your calendar and will join the meetings as they're scheduled when you set it up. Same with Fathom. I think I have a Fathom account. No, let's see. Go back. Pretty sure it's this one. And Fathom always constantly joined. That's the reason I stopped using it, was because it constantly joined every meeting. It was very intrusive. But See, contact your calendar, right? I don't want to, if I do this to my calendar, it'll then join all my meetings. So I'm not going to do that right now. But Fathom is another one very similar to the other ones. Like Otter, I think it only works on video, and it might not work on Zoom. It might only work on Meet and Teams. So give Fathom a try. I can't remember what the cost was on Fathom, but I did use it for a short time. It just was very intrusive. A newer one, I don't know if it's newer, but people have told me about it, was Rev. I don't know a lot about it, and it looks like it's not loading. So we might need to skip over that one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Rev login. Do I have a Rev account? I do. And while this is loading, Kale mentioned Notebook LM. That's Google's Notebook LM. It runs off of Gemini. You could actually use that to transcribe videos, transcribe audios, summarize YouTube channels. I mean, it's really, really, and I'll show it when we're done. So this is Rev. They actually recorded a call on one of mine. I don't know what the dealio is it, but it shows that I've had some meetings. Let's see. Workspaces, home. I don't even know what the cost is. I don't know who sent this to me, but I did mess around with it, but I never really. Oh, here we go. 300 free minutes a month, managed subscription. There you go. So you get 300 free minutes a month, and then you can add 20 hours of AI transcription for, wow, $120 a year. That's not bad. We bill monthly. It is $15. AI summarization, AI assistant is what you get. And I guess there's templates and whatnot. So might be worth checking this out, especially since you get 300 minutes free, 30 minutes per conversation, very similar to Otter's free version. This is Transcribe Pro. I bought for $59 off of AppSumo. This is what I use for all of my transcriptions. So you'll see my transcriptions here. Every time I have a conversation, or Google Meet, Zoom, or whatever, I drop it right into here and it transcribes it. So I had a call with Cody yesterday, recorded the phone call, and there's the entire transcription. You can see a formatted one. You can see it with subtitles. You can remove the timestamps, the speakers if you want, and you can come over here and ask it questions. I don't really use that because what I do is I copy this and then drop it right into Typing Mind. Go to my interview questions. No, I'm sorry, meeting transcription interviews. Drop it in here. Paste. I'm using Gemini right now. Hit send. And then this is going to take that transcription and turn it into that summary that I showed you for that other candidate. And if I want to ask it any questions that maybe isn't in the summary, I can just say, hey, add this or change this, change the name of the company to this, change my name to this. Sometimes it gets my name wrong, right? So structure one spelled wrong. I could come back and say, respell structure one properly. It gives it experience at the different companies, its qualifications with software, key discussion points, compensation on the candidate only, reason for considering change, and then decision made and follow-up steps, which I often delete, but sometimes I'll leave it in depending how relevant it is, right? So that's how I use Transcribe Pro, is I just dump any audio, video file, it transcribes it for me, and then I do that with large language models. This is Inker, again, very similar. It's very similar to Transcribe Pro in terms of what it does, right? So it's strictly just drop the transcription in there and convert it, and you get 3 files a day, and that's it. I mean, it's just a simple, and for $10 a month, you get unlimited, right? So it's very similar to Transcribe Pro, and what it does, it's just a little more expensive because Transcribe Pro was $59 for lifetime. The one thing that you were talking about is Notebook LM, and I actually do use it a lot, right? So I actually wanted to get a summary of this, how to send 1,000 cold emails a day from this guy, and I could ask it right now, key points, and it'll give me the key points of the video, right? Infrastructure, technical setup, limited number of inboxes, implement a warm process. I mean, very simple to do with that. Then over here, like Ernie sent me the Mad Men video, top business lessons. I had it summarize that for me. This is a video of Desk as a manufacturing plant from Bob Marshall. Best lead scraping tools. All these are pretty much videos that I did. But this one over here, Transcribe Pro was down for a day. So I needed to take a call recording and have it transcribed for me, right? So there's the entire transcription. So it did it for free. I had bought Transcribe Pro after I knew this existed. For free, Notebook LM will take any audio or video file and transcribe it for you. So just like I do in Transcribe Pro, I did it with this. I had this interview with Kyle. Transcribe Pro was down. I can't remember where you find it. I mean, it might be at the bottom, or maybe I just did the old, this thing, right? Copy, pasted it into my large language model and typing mine, and it gave me my summary. And so for those of you that think, hey, I like what Tom does, and I'm going to, build my own prompt and use ChatGPT or Gemini, then you don't need to buy anything. Just use Notebook LM. It's free. It transcribes with any audio or video up to a certain size. I had a really large audio or a very large video that it wouldn't transcribe, so I actually had to take the video and reduce the size using Mac, right? I turned it down and then it worked. But other than that, it was the only time I've ever had any issues with it. And when you look at this, it saves all your notebooks. You can ask it questions about the notebooks. I mean, I was doing effective cold call openers, expert strategies, right? You could ask it questions about that. You could have it generate anything you want. So it's kind of cool and it's free. Google gives a lot of shit away for free. So that is, unless someone else wants to add another, Steve Jenkins and then Ernie. First Steve, then Ernie.
Thomas, for all of your video, all of your recordings, are you just going through Loxo, recording that phone call, or are you using something separate?
So if
Depends
it's a phone
on if
call,
you're on
I
your
either use
cell.
Loxo.
Yeah.
I either use Loxo, right? Because we have click to call and I can record it, or I use my iPhone because iPhone now has call recording available as well. And then for videos, most of my videos are Teams, sometimes Google Meet. Teams always records, and then I turn the transcription on. On Google Meet, you can now turn the transcription on. I don't even need to download it and drop it into anything. It just transcribes it for me. So video has really come a long way. If you're doing a lot of video with Teams or Google Meet, you can have that do the transcription for you. So you don't even need to convert it and then drop it into a large language model or drop it into MetaView or Otter or any of those that have the free versions and ask it questions, however you want to do it.
So it sounds like you're saying if somebody was just getting started in doing this, that it would just do them well enough to do the recording on Loxo and then put it into Notebook LM.
Actually, what I would tell anyone is if you're just starting out and you don't want to spend any money, get MetaView. You get 25 free conversations that last 14 days. Once the conversation is recorded, whether it's you're using your phone or you're doing video, take that transcription, save it as a Word document, right? And then once you figure out how you want to have it used for, the prompt in large language models or putting into something else, MetaView will give you a summary. We showed that free at $25 a month, right? And this is the Matt Hall meeting, right? It gives you the candidate's background, sales experience, previous employment, sales achievements, territory management, customer relations, transition, compensation, job role, company overview, right? All that. And it also has the transcript right here. So if I want free version, and if you have the free version, you have this, right? You had a conversation. The first thing you want to do, right? And I can't send it to Loxo because he's not in Loxo, but send it to Loxo if you're using Loxo. If not, copy this, right? Save it in a Word document to send to your client or whatever. Copy this transcription, save that in a Word document, right? Now you have the transcription and you have the summary. It doesn't matter. 14 days, it's going away. Right, that's where I would start. I wouldn't spend any money on this yet if you couldn't afford it or didn't want to really jump into it. MetaView for $25, MetaView for 25 conversations with transcriptions and with AI is a great friggin' deal. Great deal.
Thanks.
Ernie?
Yeah, I just wanted to, not wrap it up, but just bring some points in that are what I was writing my notes, and I think it's like there's lots of apps that you could use. You can go on forever, and there's going to be a lot more coming in the future. One thing you got to be aware of, or you should be aware, is make sure that their customer service is really good and caters to you. Second, understand the cost involved, because this, along with other apps, you can get there's pluses and minuses. Understand that it has to serve your needs. And then another one is do you know any other recruiters in this group that are using it? Because that's the quickest way to learn a new app. So make sure that if, like, I know Tom uses something, I'll go to Tom and say, how in the hell did this work again? Show me. Now, that means that maybe here you don't want to talk. But on Tuesday, Tom has this Ask a Recruiter. And there's a good place to get all of his attention so he could talk to you and show you and share with you his ideas. And that's just the part I wanted to share with you. So it's on every week. That's it.
Anybody have any more questions about transcriptions before we move on to another topic?
Well, I think somebody asked if you're using a VoIP phone.
Oh, somebody did. Yes, somebody did.
Loxo, yeah.
Brett, before we get to you, yes, a lot of people are using Ring Central. There is VoIP MS. There's some other ones out there. It depends on what you're trying to do with your voice over IP. If you like, Google Voice is free, and I've had that. That's why I started my company. In fact, guys, by the way, my first day working for Palermo Roads when I started was April 3rd, 2011. So I'm officially fucking 14 years doing this stupid shit. Somebody's got an echo all of a sudden, so I don't know what happened. Brent opened his. Brent, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes. Hey, you said that you're using Loxo. Does Loxo they will transcribe your calls in Loxo?
No, they will record your calls.
Okay. All right. So I mean, it's just a matter of time between, because I'm using Quill to record them, and then then it puts it into Loxo. But Loxo will come out with that product, I'm sure, here in the very near future.
So right now, and you came in a little late, is both Loxo and MetaView integrate with Loxo, and MetaView gives you 25 free conversations a month, and still and integrating with Loxo is free. So the only difference with MetaView is if after 14 days you can't access your transcriptions, your notes, or anything. But if you're using MetaView, and once you do your interview, you just go in there and send it to Loxo, everything stays in Loxo forever. Go ahead, Ernie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would tell you, Brent, just remember Tim Losi is like the pro with Quill. So any little tricks and stuff, you talk to him, because shit, he's making it sing. So he showed me some stuff he was doing today with others. I'm going, damn. So that's what I mean by having a tutor that knows it and that's gone ahead and created his things, so you don't have to relearn it. You have a tutor within this group.
Yeah, he was the reason I bought it.
Yeah, Tim does a great job on that. Kale, you had a comment, question?
Yeah, Tanya, I gave you a couple of VoIP providers, but we're going to be switching here in the next probably 2 to 3 months, because a lot of the VoIP providers can now provide an AI agent that could differentiate between clients and candidates calling you, and
Turn
then
off my timer.
and then also book meetings right in your calendar, right? So if a client calls you and says, hey, we're looking to headhunt for this, it'll be like, okay, great. Do you have a salary range? Do you have time this week to actually have a call? And it'll book it right in your calendar, right? So I've been checking with our existing providers if any of them provide that. They don't, but I'm going to be rolling something out in the next 2 to 3 months, but we've got a whole bunch of tech stack stuff we're trying to check off before we do that. So if you're looking at a VoIP provider, make sure it's got some AI agent integration capabilities or already provides AI agents.
That's a good point. Okay, guys, so I got to get out of here. So I'm going to end the just live stream so you guys can all talk away. I think one of the things what Kelly and I and Ernie were talking about this, for tech stack wise, just to kind of prompt the conversation, applicant tracking system, right? LinkedIn automation, software you're using to get phone numbers and email addresses, AIs that you're using, prompts that you're using, anything that is complementing you and making your job easier or making your interviews look better. For me, I can't write for shit. My grammar is horrible. the large language models make me look like a poet, right? I mean, the stuff that I send these summaries to my clients, they friggin' love it, right? When I send it, and oftentimes I don't even have a resume, and people get pushed back. Well, what about a resume? When you send a summary and a data sheet, you can use a LinkedIn data sheet. You can use a branded resume in your applicant tracking system, or make one yourself. Let's call it a confidential data sheet. You have the confidential data sheet and that summary, man, the client loves it. They and then I got them now like, hey, the panel interview is coming up. Can you send all the interview notes over to them? My clients love that stuff. So it's made my life a lot easier, and it has made my clients, look at me at a different, like a more consultative role. And that shit's basically free, right? I mean, large language model, next to nothing. TransCry Pro is $59, right? Or you can use Notebook LM. I mean, it's a great deal to make you look a little better. So let me do the sign off, and you guys can talk away. So sorry for anybody watching. Very sorry. I have an appointment I can't miss. I got to leave here in 5 minutes. So that's it today for the live portion of the Recruiting Roundtable. Please like and subscribe and share the Roundtable on social media or anywhere you can. Thanks for being part of the Recruiter Roundtable. We really appreciate it. At YouTube.com at the Recruiter Roundtable. Check us out at www.therecruiterroundtable.com and on LinkedIn at the Recruiter Roundtable. Legal services roundtable provided by the law offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. For topics, suggestions, questions, and more, email us at therecruiterroundtable@gmail. And remember, this podcast may contain information that is confidential, privileged, or unsuitable for oversensitive, personal, low self-esteem, and doses of humor and irrational religious beliefs. You happen to know that no animals were harmed in making this podcast, although Kelly's mutt is living on borrowed time. Thanks again for being part of the Recruiter Roundtable. For Ernie Moreno, Kelly Nelson, and Tom Alashio, we'll see you next week on the Recruiter Roundtable. Until then, don't forget to smile and dial. I'm out.
See you.